It's a big Wednesday doubleheader on NBC Sports Chicago at 7 o'clock on the main channel. White Sox and Twins play just one game today. Jason Benetti and Steve Stone have the call 1 hour from now. Meanwhile, here on the Plus channel, El Bongo will look to pull off some more tricks, but this time hopefully in a Cubs win. Cubs-Phillies, Jose Quintana against Phillies ace Aaron Nola. Len and JD have that call at 7 o'clock. Sports Talk Live on location from Gallagher Way at Wrigley Field, where it is Authentic Fan Night at Wrigley Field. Use the hashtag AuthenticFan and share your photos during the festivities. We will get you ready for the big show and the games coming up right now. Welcome into Sports Talk Live, presented by the Chevy Silverado. I'm Luke Stuckmeyer. Great panel for tonight's game as we get ready for the doubleheader on NBC Sports Chicago's Authentic Fan Night. Doug Glanville from NBC Sports Chicago and Cubs Post Game Live. David Haugh from the Tribune, and of course Jesse Rogers from AM 1000. Guys, we'll start with the Cubs because that's where we're at, and they're on the Plus channel tonight. We've been looking for some consistent offense, and it's been a little bit of a roller coaster. Good results ultimately, but you'd like to see it even out a little bit, wouldn't you, Doug?
Well, you would, but, the results are still pretty strong. The fact that they're in this position now, getting a lot closer to the Brewers, and they have a tall order tonight because they're going to go up against Aaron Nola, who's pitched very well for the Phillies. But the other pieces have been able to round it out, and that's what you want from a team. The fact is, if your offense is not as consistent, your pitching, your defense, something else has picked it up, and for the most part, they've done that.
That was going to happen last night. They were on a roll. They come home, a little bit of a lull. There's some built-in excuses that they, haven't used. But I think last night, one of those things in baseball. But I think obviously that's the one thing about this Cubs team, the consistency with situational hitting that you'd like to see that is maybe you haven't.
Yeah, I'm really interested in how their offense performs against Nola, even more than last night, because this is what October is all about. Now, you're not going to go, let's just say, 10-1 against the aces around the league. But you need to go 5-6 or 6-5. You need to hold your own. They haven't done that against Trevor Bauer. They didn't do that against Jacob deGrom. So here's a chance tonight. They haven't even faced the Dodgers or the Nationals aces. So like to see them score some runs against the better pitchers. That's the telltale sign, or at least gives us something to think about when it comes to October.
He can be nasty, too. Nola can be nasty.
No, he's got great stuff. Secondary pitches are fantastic. And if you don't get him early that first inning, he just gets into a rhythm. And he's really taken leaps and bounds the way he's matured this season.
Ben Zobrist leading off. Jason Heyward batting second tonight against the Phillies on Authentic Fan Night here at Wrigley Field and on NBC Sports Chicago. Javi Baez was playing short last night as Addison Russell gets his finger back in order. He makes another spectacular play, this time on the left side of the field. We had the steal of home, and he makes you forget it just a couple of days later. That's how spectacular he can be.
That was scary. It was a scary moment. Great catch. If you're a fan in that situation, what's the right way to react?
Catch your player.
but okay, the fans,
soften the blow.
He tried to help him up at least.
Fans who have been conditioned in the
post. Try to help him up. Big deal.
Fans are sort of conditioned in the post-Bartman era to not get involved, right? To kind of take a step back. But here's Javi right in front of you. What's the right thing to do?
Well, he was very polite. He gave him the chair. He said, "Here, take my seat." This is a great play.
That fan also did not spill his entire beer, which I thought was almost as impressive as the catch itself.
Considering the cost of beer, yes, for sure, no doubt.
Where is Javi in the list of exciting ball players? He's got to be in the top 5 in baseball, or am I overstating that?
I think we tend to overstate things, but I don't think that's an overstatement, Luke. I think you look at around the league, you said exciting.
Yeah, I didn't say best 5.
Not best, but I think the way that he plays and with the joy with which he plays, that's the big thing. You see a guy who's out there having fun, outwardly, expressing himself, doing some dynamic things with the glove. He sometimes still struggles with the routine play. He may strike out and make you think, what the heck's he swinging at? But he comes up with the clutch moment and produces one of those, and you're like, oh, wow, yeah, he's a top 5 exciting player.
And even in striking out, it can be somewhat entertaining and exciting as much as it frustrates Cub fans. But I agree with you because it's not, Doug can attest to it, it's not that easy to have that much flair night in and night out or make great plays or be on the highlight reel. Like, it's baseball. It's not football. Sometimes you're hidden for a week in baseball, but with him, he's seemingly in the front of the highlights every night, or not every night, but close to it. So, yes, he is one of the most exciting.
Well, and part of it is that it's in every facet of the game. That's the other way. He can contribute in that energizing way on defense, on the bases, striking out, jumping in the stands, and of course the power game. So very much I'd agree with that statement. I think he's top 5 of exciting.
Did you have teammates that tried to be that guy and went into every game? Now, in basketball and football, is much different mentality, but there are players specifically whose role it is to go make something happen, to be a catalyst.
Yeah, I think of Jimmy Rollins. That's a guy that comes to mind. He came up and wanted to be the man, as Kevin Jordan, my teammate, used to say. He wanted to be the star. You had Scott Rowland, who's kind of wanted to be under the radar, but also had a certain energy of him. So there was different styles, but there's no question Jimmy Rollins is the first guy I think about in my career.
I like after the game, Javi joked that, aren't these Chris Bryant's balls? Shouldn't he be under him? The first time it happened, Javi called him off, and then here it is another one. Where's Chris from and all that? But I think you'd rather have Javi a little bit more athletic, not as tall and, sort of maybe less injury prone just because of his body type. So I like that it's Javi going in the stands and not Chris.
Speaking of injuries, we have an injury update. Yu Darvish was out throwing from about 3 to 3:30 in the outfield today. Jim Hickey, the pitching coach for the Cubs, says, it's probably still a couple of weeks away. He's only made 8 starts this year. Are you beginning to be concerned by the time on the DL?
Well, I think there are two things here. I mean, one, are you concerned about Darvish coming back and making an impact before the All-Star break? Yes, absolutely. I think that when he says 2 weeks, there's going to be a minor league rehab stint. You don't know how long that's going to take. Darvish individually, you have concerns. The team collectively, I think they've shown that, they're 10 games or 9 games above 500. They may be a team you can get to the playoffs without Darvish. You don't want to consider that. But I think the two equations here. One, Darvish, concerned. Team, not so much.
Well, 2 things that I'd say. One, it just looks like his first half of his 6-year contract is going to be a wash. It's going to be a wash. You just hope it's not the first full year, that he can contribute something come second half, because that's basically what we're talking about here. If it's July, it's really the second half. And the other thing I would say is if Mike Montgomery can do what Darvish is supposed to do for about, $20,500,000 less, that's going to be a huge boost to this team, and he's already done it twice. So kudos to Montgomery. If he can keep it up, then you won't miss Darvish so much.
Yeah, piggybacking on that point that Jesse made is that, do you have to make a move? I mean, that's what you start. You're getting into that territory.
Right.
Is it past the point where you need to, make a trade to try to get that ace for that postseason run? So, can Montgomery carry that load, or who's it going to be? So they're up against that wall.
That's a huge gamble, though, because if you go out, they're not cheap. Aces aren't cheap. You already invested a lot of money, if not prospects, in getting a guy like that. You thought that he was going to be that guy. That's a very difficult discussion to have with Tom Ricketts.
Yeah, it's hard to go to that well so many times for a position you think you're good with. Everyone thought Chatwood as a 5 was really a 3. This team had a 1, a 2, and 3 threes, and it's not exactly been like that.
Speaking of the pitching decision, it is our Ankin Law Sports Talk Live poll question. The obvious comparison is the other guy in the other dugout, Jake Arrieta, is here. Is it fair to compare the 2 pitchers throughout this season and throughout the first part of the contract?
Well, I mean, we just did it in the newspaper yesterday morning, right underneath my column, Darvish versus Arrieta. So
I think they may have done it on the radio a couple minutes.
And I'm
sure Camp has done it a few times.
But I'm saying it would be a hypocrite to say, it's unfair. It's inevitable. It's human nature. I mean, you're going to do it. Is it fair? Probably not. But it's what happens when you have an either-or equation in a market like this, and the Cubs picked one over the other.
I would say it's as fair as you can get. Of course, it's 2 different pitchers, 2 different ages, 2 different everything. But all things being somewhat equal, there were 2 elite free agents available to everybody, including the Cubs. And you're right, they chose one over the other. And so, yes, I think it's as fair as you can make it.
I think it's fair if the fans are all asking it, too. If the fans are asking it at the same time, the question can be asked.
Of course they're asking it.
What about the ex-player? How fair is it, Doug?
I mean, I think it's fair game. I mean, especially it's so direct about, they could have signed this guy, and there's questions on how that fell apart. And, obviously he's having a great year. Yeah, he's older, a little bit older, but Darvish, with the injuries and trying to come back. Now you look in hindsight and you say, well, wait a minute, what's going on here? But Darvish was supposed to be that longer stretch, like you said, 6-year guy. So the questions are going to fly.
The one thing that I wonder is from the outside, you've been in the inside of the clubhouse, what effect does that culture that's created of doubt, or the comparison, the constant comparison have, if any, in creating some doubt in the minds of teammates? Does that ever trickle down and filter into the clubhouse?
Sure. I mean, I think the advantage you have Joe Madden, who kind of polices these kinds of things. Everybody trying to get on the same page, and Arrieta's not there. He's in the other dugout right now, and he did great things for the city of Chicago, for the Cubs organization. So you have to have that perspective, that leadership, to recognize Darvish is your teammate, and he's had some, great years. So he's a guy that can be the guy, but you got to get him on the field.
We look tonight, and we look at Jose Quintana on the mound. In his last 7 starts, it's gone win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. He's alternated. Last night, it was Kyle Hendricks, and the home run got him. Are you starting to be concerned by the home runs, or is that just something that's happened early in the season?
I'm a little concerned, and he said it exactly right. He is getting behind hitters. What happens when you get behind hitters? You have to come in with a pitch you don't want to throw, a hitter's pitch. And he's not throwing a hitter's pitch at 96. He's throwing it at 86. So he's got to stop getting behind hitters. But what's interesting is I ran some numbers. In 16, his great year when he won the ERA title, he got behind hitters, but he still got him out. And this is something Chris Bosio used to talk about. 2-1 or 1-2 didn't affect him. He was a rare breed in that sense. Now, when he's getting behind hitters, his OPS is 250 points higher than it was in 16.
That is? What does that tell you?
Well, I would say that this relates to the movement and those pitches in the zone. See, guys like a Greg Maddux or Hendricks, and you'll see tonight Aaron Nola, they have very good movement in the zone. So it's like, okay, fine, I'm laying it in there, but it's a 2-seam cutter, and they still can't square it up. Right. They are squaring him up when he's behind in the count.
All right, Doug, thank you for stopping by. You'll be on Baseball Night in Chicago, bottom of the hour at 6:30 with Layla Rahimi, correct?
I'm here.
All right, don't forget it is Authentic Fan Night here at Wrigley Field. Share your Cubs fandom. We want you to use the hashtag #AuthenticFans. Share your photos. They might be shown today during the game. Len and JD will be broadcasting some of your photos. Make sure you share them. Ozzie Guillen joins us coming up next on Sports Talk Live. We'll talk about the White Sox. They have a pitcher coming back, and we'll talk more about the Southsiders when we return.
Sports Talk Live is brought to you by ChevyDriveChicago.com. To be the best, you have to beat the rest. See why Chevy is once again the #1 best-selling brand in Chicagoland, now 7 years running.
Two bulls were fighting. Bam, hit the truck.
I could feel the barbed wire was just digging into the paint.
Another ding, another scratch. It'll just be another chapter in the story.
Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickups on the road. Get 18% of MSRP cash back on all Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LTZ pickups when you finance with GM Financial. That's $10,500 on this Silverado. Visit ChevyDriveChicago.com today.
It's never enough to just open your business.
Nobody cares for me.
You need to get the word out. From business cards and banners to expertly packed shipments to mailboxes with a real street address. Everything your customers see tells a story. Go to the UPS store today for help.
Straight up and relevant to you. We're all about that on the NBC 5 News at 10. Weather, our storm team gets you ready for whatever, because this is normal for Chicago. Shady business, that doesn't fly with us. NBC 5 investigates for you. Sports, catch more than scores. And the folks who are putting neighbor back in neighborhood, we got a lot of those stories that are making a difference. Keep it here. We'll keep it relevant to you. Rob Stafford, Allison Rosati, and the NBC 5 News at 10.
It's Max Matson's Rock and Roll Sales Event. Rock this summer with a VIP concert experience at Naperville's Rib Fest. Enter for a chance to win VIP tickets for 4, limo, sponsor tent, and choose to see Melissa Etheridge, Pitbull, Jay Gowen, or Steven Tyler. Plus roll all year in a new Mitsubishi with discounts and rebates totaling from $4,500 to $7,500 or 0% APR financing. Max Matson's Rock and Roll Sales Event. Enter at Max Matson Mitsubishi locations in Downers Grove and Aurora, Naperville, or online at maxmatson.com.
Welcome to Baseball Night in Chicago.
Who won the World Series? Who did Ozzie play for? What are you doing, Ozzie?
And look, Ozzie's got flair.
I get paid to tell the truth.
Baseball is a talking sport.
That analytical garbage.
That's how I feel about parallel parking.
Have you been watching Moncada play defense? Never, ever did I rip him.
Who's the replacement for Moncada right now?
And you know what the most important thing is? The W.
Baseball Night in Chicago, tonight at 6:30 on NBC Sports Chicago.
Welcome back to Sports Talk Live. It is Authentic Fan Night. We are live at Gallagher Way outside Wrigley Field. Cubs and Phillies will be on the Plus channel tonight. White Sox will be on the main channel. And we bring in Ozzie Guillen, who will be on Baseball Night in Chicago and Sox Post Game Live. You're going to do it all tonight, right, Ozzie?
Yeah, I do everything now. Before I just play shortstop and managing. Now I'm everywhere.
Now they have you working.
And now you're censored.
I don't steal money anymore.
Carlos Rodon, they say, could pitch potentially this week. He's had some starts at AAA, 5 walks, 28 strikeouts in 17 innings. But he pointed out, hey, man, it's AAA. What do you expect out of him when he finally gets to the big leagues?
Well, just to stay here. And obviously, when you have injuries, it's very hard to say, I'm here for good. You never know what's going to happen. I think the main thing for him is just try to stay consistent. Don't try to rush. Don't try to overdo stuff on the mound when he's in the big league. Listen to Hermes Nadia, Brian Bowles. I think you'll be fine. But in the meanwhile, when you pitch in the minor league, it's not the same when you pitch in the big league. But health is being hold this kid. I think this kid's got good stuff. Hopefully, all those injuries go behind him and start throwing the way they want to throw.
He's a big part of the rebuild. He's got to be a big part of the rebuild. He's a first-round draft pick, a high first-round draft pick. So that pressure is something that I think people tend to forget because of the injuries. But he faces a lot of pressure because of those expectations.
Well, it's funny because I don't know much about college baseball or draft before I got this job. But now I follow those things. It's hard to pick a first-round pick as a pitcher because the innings they pull up, from the high school all the way to college, they brought so many innings. All of a sudden, when you come to the big league or minor league system, you try to just slow down a little bit. All of a sudden, you pile so many innings together with your body. That will hurt you in the long run.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, you talk to like Theo and Jed. I'm sure Rick Hahn the same thing. Those college hitters are like the most predictable, Then it goes to college, maybe pitchers or even high school hitters. But the pitchers in general are the least predictable after you draft them. That's why sometimes you choose the hitter over the pitcher and you try to get a pitcher later.
Can you see him, though, projected as an ace of a good White Sox team?
No. I don't think so. Not right now. I hope that's the White Sox wish.
But in 2 years. In 2 years, is Rodon good enough stuff? Do you think he could be a number 1 or number 2 starter?
He's the 2 or 3, right?
He got the stuff to be. I think he got the stuff. It reminded me a little bit about Wilson Alvarez. Not because his body, it's just because his slider. But I think the stuff is there. But every time this kid take the mound, people will think about, okay, what's going to happen? How many innings can go?
Right.
How long it can take? He can take off 5, 6, 7 innings. How many pitches we going to allow him to go? And that's going to create a little bit of time. Your 2 years, that's what the White Sox want. And that's why the White Sox like for him because they said, no, now he's a veteran player. He's not come out of college yet, but he got a lot of innings, a lot of stars in the big league. And if that kid stay healthy, I think it should be fine.
But in a perfect world, if the Sox had everything go the way they wanted to in a couple years, if you had Kopech, Lopez, and Rodon as your top 3, and they were pitching that way, then you can have Giolito, who pitched well yesterday, start to move into lower in the rotation. Would that be true, that those arms might rank somewhere that way?
I like Giolito. I think Giolito is his own enemy. You know what I mean? I like the only way I like yesterday, we only walked 2 guys. His problem is inconsistent throwing the ball around the plate. His arms there. His arms there. I think his body's there. Velocity
above the shoulders,
stuff, but
up here.
But that's what it had to be. But when you're not throwing strikes and you not have confidence in yourself, you doubt yourself to throw the ball in the middle of the plate. And with Giolito, I see him a couple games in the game. His fastball is good enough to just say, you know what, guys? If you hit it, applause. But when you walking people, wild pitch here, wild pitch there, they don't make the play behind it, then he can back it up. And that's his own enemy. I think this kid's got good enough stuff to pitch in the big league the longer he wants to.
Reynaldo Lopez was really good yesterday, too. Does he have the best stuff that you've seen out of that group, or is that debatable that some of those guys might have better stuff than even Lopez, or is he just pitching the best right now?
I think best stuff, more confidence. This kid should remind me of Jose De Leon. I don't know if you guys remember Jose. If he's 8 innings shut out of the song, he lose the game or not have a decision. This kid got I think he's got the body, the attitude, the changeup. I don't know what happened in Dominican Republic. Everybody throwing unbelievable changeups. Not many kids with that age throw that good changeup. And I think this kid attacked the strike zone in more confidence day in and day out. I think this kid's.
I like the way he goes at it.
he's going to be the ace, but he's going to be a great one to have there.
He's better already than they thought. He's sort of ahead of schedule. I like the fact that he pitches like that no matter what kind of run support he gets. He's in the Quintana role.
Yeah.
I mean, the Sox never supported Quintana, and now they're not giving him any run support. And he pitches well anyway. He's very consistent, and he's probably their most consistent. He is their most consistent starter.
At some point, though, they're going to need to do what the Phillies just did and get an Arrieta type, right? Someone to sort of lead the way. It's hard to all come up together.
Well, not right now.
No, maybe not right now.
Maybe,
but I think at some point.
Maybe later when they say, okay, we're ready to go for it, we're ready to compete, I think they will get somebody to help them because they have a plan. And we know, I don't know what kind of plan, but I know they have a plan. They should stick with the plan. And I think the plan going to take them where they want to be. There's one thing about it. We're impatient. We need to win right now. The way they're playing right now, they not satisfy anyone. That's why people get a little bit upset, a little sad. But I think the White Sox had to take the playing, and I think they will be.
We talked about the draft, which has been going on earlier this week before we started this segment. Where were you as a manager? Did you not think about that at all? Did you wait to see those guys at spring training the next year? When did you start thinking about guys that were coming into your system?
You know, it's funny because most of my draft, they're playing independently right now. No, you know
That's why you're sitting here.
You know what's funny? I remember telling me, I don't know the rules or anything about it. When I saw Chris Sales in the thing, I said, hey, we don't have a lefty. This is better what we have. And they sent it to the minor league. But no, I know how. I think everybody have the job to do. I respect Kenny and the scout reporter and scout people to it. That I make sure I stay managing my whoever I have there. I don't have nothing to do with the draft at all.
Just wiped your hands clean of it, huh?
Well, I know I was smart enough to do that.
Ozzie, thanks. We'll see you on Baseball Night in Chicago coming up at the bottom of the hour. More authentic fan night here on Sports Talk Live. It continues outside Wrigley Field at Gallagher Way. We'll have more on the Bears. They continued minicamp up at Hallis Hall today. And NBA Finals, will the Cavs finally get one tonight against the Warriors? We'll be right back on Sports Talk Live.
I'm attorney Howard Aiken, the Cubs great Javi Baez.
When you love what you do, it shows.
And that's how I feel as a personal injury and workers' compensation attorney.
Getting advice from an abogado who cares.
Call 312-6-million. Injury law made personal. That's Aiken Law.
Tonight on NBC Sports Chicago Plus, we're celebrating the biggest Cubs fans on Authentic Fan Night at Wrigley as the Cubs take on the Phillies. Coverage begins at 7, or you can stream the game live on the NBC Sports app.
Two bulls were fighting. Bam, hit the truck.
I could feel the barbed wire was just digging into the paint.
Another ding, another scratch. It'll just be another chapter in the story.
Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest lasting, full-size pickups on the road. Get 18% of MSRP cash back on all Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LTZ pickups when you finance with GM Financial. That's $10,500 on this Silverado. Visit ChevyDriveChicago.com today.
Chicago's different, man. In this town, we take care of our own. And if you're with us, we're with you through thick or thin. That's what Chicago is.
So there's that.
I'm the only person in the world that calls me Chad.
Are you kidding me?
Authentic coverage for the authentic fan. NBC Sports Chicago.
My teacher said to write a letter to someone that inspires me. You're the only person I wanted to write to. I wear your team shirt all the time. You inspire me because you fought so hard. Even when it looks like you couldn't win. You believe in yourself, so your team believes in you. And that makes me believe I can take on anything.
Rocket League is coming back to NBC Sports, and you can get in the game. The Universal Open, presented by 7-Eleven and Brisk, is a chance for you and a teammate to compete against the best Rocket League players in the world. The goal? Play live in the studio for the $100,000 prize pool. Sign up now at universalopen.gg. Prove you're the best Rocket League duo in the world, right here on NBC Sports.
Are you a Cubs authentic fan. We want to hear your unique Cubs stories and experiences. Share your Cubs photos and videos for a chance to be our next authentic fan of the game. Enter at NBCSportsChicago.com/CubsAF. Jesse Rogers, authentic fan.
I am.
David Haw, authentic fan. We've got Cubs and Phillies coming up here on NBC Sports Chicago Plus.
Yeah.
Sox are on the main channel tonight. Will the Cubs offense get going tonight? That is the question.
It's going to be tough. I mean, Nola's really going to be a tough challenge. I would say they're going to struggle tonight, Jess.
Yeah, the trend has been to struggle against some of the better pitching. They have to prove something to themselves, to Joe, to Theo, that they can do it. They're getting closer. They are.
I don't know if I like the top of the order. I like Zobrist leading off, but I don't know about Heyward second. I know he's hot, but I don't know if that's the right spot for him.
He's hot in making contact. It's not necessarily slug contact, doubles and stuff, but he is making contact.
Where's the best spot for him? 8?
I still 7 or 8. I still like him down there. Yeah.
We had Joe Namath out at the ballpark today with MLB Network, and he was out on the field, met some of the players, met with Joe Madden, of course. I mean, Joe Namath was a huge star back in the day. Who was the first athlete that you interviewed in your career where you stepped back a little bit and said, all right.
The first one?
That was pretty cool.
I was an intern when I came here years and years and years ago. Greg Maddux was he was just on the way up, and he was a guy that I was, you grow up and you see a guy like that, and you're sort of a little bit in awe, and he could not have been nicer, and I think that was the first one for me.
I'm still starstruck by La Stella. But, I mean, other than that, if we go back years, Wayne Gretzky.
Oh,
yeah. A great one. I was a hockey player growing up and baseball, and I just adored him. So when I got a chance to,
did you ask him a good question?
With the microphone.
Did you ask him a question?
I did. I don't remember if I got it out or anything, but I was starstruck by him. La Stella's a close second.
I was working down in Texas when MJ came back with the Wizards, and having grown up in Chicago the first time, I don't know. Nobody was asking questions. I fired off like 5 in a row, and I can't remember any of the 5 questions. They were just spewing out of my mouth. I just wanted to ask him every question. So
it happens.
Yeah, that would be the first one for me.
So Joe Namath made you a little starstruck today?
No, Joe Namath. But he did walk through here, and I think some people said, "Who was that?" I'm like, "Come on, Joe."
Broadway Joe. From Bears.
NBA Finals. Cavs get one tonight?
Yes.
They've got to.
They have to, or it's over.
Or else it's sweep. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. NBCSportsChicago.com has your authentic fan experience. Use the hashtag tonight. See your photos on the game. Baseball Night in Chicago is coming up next with Layla Rahimi.
Today we're opening more than 150,000 locations called Domino's Hotspots. You can finally get Domino's delivered to every single one of them. Get 2 medium, 2-topping pizzas delivered for $5.99 each.
Domino's Hotspots. Delivery to parks, beaches, and other outdoor locations near you.
The best part of baseball season is coming out to the park, being here with the fans. You just get a different energy than watching it on TV.
There's nothing like spending an afternoon out here, scoreboard light up with the home runs. Just nostalgic and love it.
The best part about baseball season is coming to the game and hanging out with your family.
It's just awesome seeing the team come together and getting to do that with your family and friends.
Will that be all, ma'am?
Yeah, that's it.
One scratch on a Willy Wonka golden ticket from the Illinois Lottery could be worth $500,000, plus a second chance at up to $1 billion. Play today.
White Sox, Twins. Coverage begins at 7 on NBC Sports Chicago.
Ah, what a great day. Isn't this fun?
Yeah, real fun.
I smell bacon.
Let's face it, you need a pool this summer. Right now, save up to $1,500 on our Dream Pool. Includes installation, plus $600 in pool upgrades. Or get sizzling savings on all hot tubs. Save up to $2,500. Plus get half off a Bluetooth sound system on Jacuzzi, Sundance, and Bullfrog. Only at The Great Escape.
Two bulls were fighting. Bam, hit the truck.
I could feel the barbed wire was just digging into the paint.
Another ding, another scratch. it'll just be another chapter in the story.
Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickups on the road. Get 18% of MSRP cash back on all Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LTZ pickups when you finance with GM Financial. That's $10,500 on this Silverado. Visit ChevyDriveChicago.com today.
Authentic Fan Night at Wrigley Field. Make sure to share your Cubs fandom using the hashtag AuthenticFan, and your photos might be shown during tonight's game. That said, hello from Gallagher Way here outside what turned out to be a very nice night on the north side. It is baseball night in Chicago. Ozzie Guillen, Doug Glanville joining me, Layla Rahimi. And first things first, we have a couple of games tonight on our network. The White Sox and the Twins are on the main channel. Cubs and Phillies are on Plus. Guys, it is a busy, busy slate. But we have some fireworks to discuss because what a catch there was last night.
Yes, it was.
Coming from Baez. Baez all over the place. Whatever they play him, he's always come up with something spectacular, make the fans laugh, make the fans excited. It's excited to see this kid play.
Yeah,
well,
El Mago.
Indeed, and I thank you all on Twitter for responding to the NBC Sports Chicago tweet that blew up all of our mentions.
Yeah, what's going on here?
But before we talk about that, let's show you other good catches because it jogged our memories a bit.
Just another highlight from Baez. Comes out with a smile on his face.
Much room over there as Rizzo gets on the top. He makes a catch.
Extra points for creativity.
That was a thing of beauty. And that ball is caught, I believe. It is. Is that Baez?
That is
I hope he's all right.
Along the right field line. And Rizzo on the ledge. He's got it.
We got the tarp catch. Now we got the ledge catch.
Both against the Milwaukee Brewers.
Down the left field line, and did he come up with it? He's got it! Schwarber makes a phenomenal catch! And look at the love he is getting from Cub fans down the line.
Russell into foul ground. Look out!
I didn't see the fence and collided with it and got all nachoed up.
Got a handful of nachos is what he has. This is Baez's ball. He's got it! As he tumbles into the stands. What a play!
And comes out of it with a smile on his face like, yep, that's just me being me.
Okay, so we just saw a very nice montage of the Cubs getting up close and personal with the crowd. They do know how to make some dramatic catches in the crowd.
Right.
So before we discuss the Twitter insanity that happened this afternoon, how would you compare Baez's catch to the ones we just saw? The Schwarber catch in the crowd. We saw Rizzo on the tarp. I mean, they're all pretty good. Baez has made his fair share of catches in the crowd as well.
Wow. Well, I'm going to defer to the shortstop for a second.
Wow. It's kind of funny because fans love those kind of play, love defense. I'm one of the players, I love defense because that's the way I make my living, play defense. So do my man here. But in the meanwhile, I think when you make a play like that, you help your team to win. You pump it up, the team you get pumped up. And when you sacrifice your body and you go buy the ball, the way it's go here, a lot of walls, it's kind of tough. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, you're not dealing with a lot of padding here at Wrigley for starters. So if that's a challenge. And Baez is coming full speed, backhand side. You just make that sacrifice, and he's a catalyst no matter what side of the ball, right? You're talking about offense and defense, and these kind of plays, your pitching staff loves you, right? They're like, make the play. So there's no question that there's a great comparison to be made.
Well, Baez is a catalyst, and then he was a catalyst for another catalyst, and that was the question our NBC Sports Chicago Twitter account asked. Ozzie, you know these catches very well. We asked, what is the best pure catch not catch with the elements, not catch in a dramatic game, because let's face it, Juan Uribe's catch in 2005 in the World Series, yes, that is a much more dramatic setting than a regular season game against the Philadelphia Phillies. But if you're talking about a pure catch, let's take it like we're NFL referees. Which one was the better catch?
Which one, those catch?
Yeah.
Well, I think Baez, it was more dramatic because it went through the to the stands, even with no, have any kind of support at all. Obviously the game, when the game was, when it meant to the game that moment, obviously Uribe, it was more important. But Uribe went through head first. This kid his body's going sideways, and that's why I think it was more spectacular.
And I think it's hard to take away those stakes you mentioned. I mean, the World Series, that's the significance of it. There's that extra pressure crowd. In some of those games, there's no fans at all in that section, right? So I can't totally dismiss that World Series factor, which is why I would lean towards Uribe. What I think physically, when you look at Baez, what was so dangerous about that is he was coming full speed at a long distance, and he is backhand side, which is much harder.
Yes.
And you're getting to the wall when the ball's coming down. That as an outfielder or a defender, this is going to be bad. It's not like you can stand on the wall and wait and then jump.
Right.
You are coming, so that's where the risk is. Now, jumping into a crowd and timing it, like Uribe,
it's kind of hard because at the World Series in Houston, everybody was trying to catch the ball, and Uribe went through the fans to get the ball away from them, and that's why make the timing. It was make the game the play real hard, and the timing. Everybody will talk about that play for a long time because they will remember that play Uribe made.
The other thing too is we can look at it the same way we look at the other play when it comes to how we're watching it. We're both watching it on TV. But when you take those factors into account, when you take into account that this guy knows the situation, when Uribe knows that this is the World Series on the line, it was a tight ball game, those things do matter. We try to take it out, but those variables, they can affect people. We've seen it happen.
Well, I've seen it making worse too. I see guys going to ground ball through their legs, and they will remember that guy forever.
Exactly.
And the same way they're going to remember Juan Uribe for the rest of his life in Chicago because the play he make and what it means to Chicago fans, baseball fans, especially for the White Sox fans.
And I think it does matter, but it is fun to talk about. I thank you for all the mentions that you blew up our phones with. I laughed, but it isn't. I know. I mean, this was insane.
This may make a lot of nice plays here in the outfield here. Nobody say anything about it.
Okay, so now let's move on because if we don't, goodness knows the rabbit hole we are going down. So let's look back to Tuesday for the White Sox. They had a doubleheader against the Twins. And regardless of the outcome, you could say that this was a positive day for the White Sox rotation because of what we saw out of their young pitchers in Reynaldo Lopez and Lucas Giolito. Lopez, 7 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, only 4 walks and 4 strikeouts. And we've seen that out of Lopez. He just continues his good performances. But Giolito, 6 innings, which is huge for him. 6 hits, 2 earned runs, and 2 strikeouts, or 2 walks rather. So it might not be a lot to other people if you're looking at just the box score, but what are the positive signs here in seeing these young pitchers improve, up their inning count, that sort of thing?
Well, I think when you think about what Ozzie was talking about, Giolito even earlier, they're going to have to go for small steps. This is the season. It's a developmental year right now for the White Sox. So anytime you see the possibilities, Lopez, these guys have some ability, and now you're seeing them figure out ways to execute in a major league setting going deep into ball games. So they have to focus on building, and those are steps that you have to take.
Well, it's one thing I love about the game yesterday was Giolito, he only walked 2 guys.
Yes.
That's amazing. This kid is being lead the league in wild pitch, walking everybody through the lineups, getting throw himself. This kid got a good enough stuff to play in the big league, I'm for sure. But in the meanwhile, Lopez is so unlucky. But in the meanwhile, when nothing happened to them last start, he don't care. He go and pitch well the next one, and he keep building the conference and the numbers through the season.
Yeah, Lopez's consistency so far has been really enjoyable to watch for such a young player. So stay with us. We have so much more here to come on Authentic Fan Night on Baseball Night in Chicago. More good news about the White Sox rotation because Carlos Rodon is nearing his return to action, likely in Boston. And we have a special Cubs Authentic Fan feature that took one diehard Cubs fan straight from Nepal to the mound here at Wrigley Field.
Baseball Night in Chicago is brought to you in part by Incan Law. Injury law made personal. That's Incan Law.
I'm attorney Howard Aiken with Cubs superstar Javi Baez.
Making it look easy on the field takes a hard work. If you need legal help, call Howard.
It's hard to make law as exciting as Javi makes playing second base, but if you need help with an injury case, call me.
312-6
Nice car. Not so nice scratch. Wouldn't it be nice if removing ugly scratches from your car was this easy? Now with new Finish Scratch Doctor, removing surface scratches is easy. In fact, independent laboratory tests have proven Scratch Doctor to be the best scratch remover available. Scratch Doctor with advanced microtechnology also removes paint scrapes, scuffs, haze, and swirl marks. So get Scratch Doctor.
#1 rated Scratch Doctor. Available at O'Reilly Auto, Home Depot, Pep Boys, Target, AutoZone, Walmart, and other leading stores.
It's Danley's Ultimate Garage Sale. Get a new custom garage for just $199 a month. Danley's has built over 100,000 garages since 1959 and is Chicagoland's #1 garage builder. It's the perfect time for a Danley's garage sale. Get a brand new garage for just $199 a month. When you think of garages, think Danley's. This offer ends soon, so call 877-DANLEY's.
I admit it. Sometimes I pay for it. We've all got needs. But finding someone who can satisfy without spending too much isn't easy. Luckily, there's a place I can go where I always get a little more for a little less. You're the best, Mr. Sub.
Try a Mr. Submarine value meal today. Order a tasty sub on fresh-baked Toronto bread and add an RC and a bag of Lay's for only $1.99 extra. Dive into deliciousness with Mr. Submarine.
Wherever you are, you're there. The NBC Sports app, your home for live streaming coverage of the Cubs, all connected by Xfinity.
I wonder what happened to Clark and Southpaw. I asked for water like 15 minutes ago.
Stuck at work or on the go? Stream the Cubs and White Sox on the NBC Sports app or at NBCSportsChicago.com.
Are you guys ready for this? It's time to look at the NL Central standings. It is June. It is happening. We're going to be doing this a lot. So Milwaukee right now is leading at 37-24, and then the Cubs just 2 games back at 33-24. But that 24 losses, partially because of the game situation and the weather, that's the fewest in the National League. So that's not bad, Cubs fans. So this being Authentic Fan Night, diehard Cubs fan Everett Severinghouse spent 10 years trying to get to the top. And his desire to climb led all the way to being here on the mound at Wrigley Field. Take a look.
I'm Eric Severinghouse, and I am an authentic fan. I've been a season ticket holder for many years to the Cubs. We call ourselves Cubby Family. And we always sit out in right center field. We've got this huge W flag, probably 40 or 50 signatures of former Cubs players, managers, the whole thing. Well, for about 10 years, I've been wanting to climb Mount Everest, and I've been working on training for and just generally getting ready to go climb Mount Everest. Why not get all of our friends and family and everybody who came out to Murphy's Bleachers for this going away party, why not get everybody to sign this W flag? It really was a source of inspiration for me. Absolute euphoria and absolute relief. You spend 10 years getting ready and you spend less than 5 minutes on the top of the mountain. At 29,000 feet, there's so little oxygen, and you can kind of see I'm like kind of sitting down in the picture. I could barely stand up. We end up having to take 4 different helicopter rides across Nepal. 20-hour flight, land in O'Hare. I haven't slept in like 5 days. Utterly and completely exhausted. Get off the plane, they've got these signs, and what do the signs say? They tell me start warming up because I'm going to be throwing out the first pitch at Wrigley Field. My mind is absolutely blown. I couldn't believe it. They take me straight to Wrigley Field, where I meet Tom Ricketts, get to hang out on the field with my friends and family before I throw out the first pitch of the Cubs game. My dad grew up, he was one of the original bleacher bums out working construction with the hard hat out in the bleachers. Before Ferris Bueller, he was the guy on the front page of the Chicago Tribune who got caught skipping school because he cut school to go to the Cubs game out in the bleachers and ends up on the front page of the Tribune. What's funny is he was more nervous than I was. He literally brings a ball to the airport. He's so nervous. He's like, Eric, you got to start warming up. You got to start warming up. You do not want to be the guy who climbs Mount Everest and then ends up bouncing the ball on the way to home plate. It was the absolute coolest thing. I mean, for one dream to come true, who gets the opportunity to throw out a first pitch at a Cubs game, right? It's kind of the coolest thing you could possibly imagine. For them to have invited me to come do that, you know, especially right after getting off the mountain and everything else, it was just the absolute neatest thing.
That is an amazing story. Eric Severinghouse climbs Mount Everest, is inspired by the Cubs, and then he's more concerned about making sure that he throws out a solid first pitcher at Wrigley.
That happened, though. That happened. They asked me about, you know, when I was manager, they asked me, like, give me some tip to throw the ball. I said, hey, you're not a pitcher. Just slide the ball up there, make sure they get there. Some people, when they throw the ball all over the place, they try to be a pitcher. You're not. You're a singer. You're a musician. You're a politic. Just throw the ball there, make sure you get there, and that's it.
You make it sound so easy.
Just roll. I mean, I hit the screen on the fly, so it's all good.
Okay, so let's
So, I mean, whatever.
let's talk about actual pitchers now. Some news about Yu Darvish. Reports are that he ended up throwing today. He, of course, is battling tricep tendonitis. And Cubs pitching coach Jim Hickey earlier on the radio said that he could be weeks away, that rehab starts are likely a possibility. This is a big free agent acquisition, of course, 6 years, $126 million. When you say weeks, we're in June. He might not be ready until after the All-Star break. How do you address this situation knowing that he could be under the weather for a while?
What? Yeah, I mean, I think the concern becomes, well, you're facing up against that trade deadline too, right? And do you make that move? Do you rely on Montgomery? You know, what moves do you make to shore that up? Obviously, at this stage, if you're trying to get a bona fide ace, very expensive. So, you know, they're going to have to see where everybody's lining up at that point to see if you need to go that next step. And those are question marks you don't have if Darvish is healthy and really performing at the level he'd performed throughout his career.
Well, I think if that happens, you got to go through not number one guy, just number 3 or 4 guy in the line, get you innings, make sure he try to keep you in the game. I know it's very hard to do when try to keep you in the game. But I mean, wow, when he come back, hopefully come back healthy and help the Cubs for the rest of the season to try to get what they want to get. That's more important thing than be week by week, star by star. I pitch good today. I don't know. I can pitch tomorrow. I don't feel great today. And then shut down. When you come back strong, and hopefully can help your team to win some games.
Yeah, and let's not forget, you mentioned that trade deadline. There's a team 90 miles north of here that is willing to make a move or two as well in the Brewers to see about closing speed acquisition. So now let's move over to the south side and some good injury news regarding their starting pitching staff. Carlos Rodon joined the team in Minnesota, so he is back now after his rehab. He, of course, underwent shoulder surgery. There's a chance, because of the doubleheader, that he might be needed to pitch Friday or Saturday. Rodon has made a lot of strides. What can we expect to see out of this guy after he's missed so much time and potentially might be playing at Fenway?
Well, I can pray for his health.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you know, every time you have a kid, it just comes from surgery, and you're the pitching coach or the manager, you always think about how long it can go, how many pitches it can throw. They will see you how to do it. They dictate you how long you're going to pitch. You know, you talk to the medical people, you talk to him about the situation about it. Hopefully, he can give me more than 6 innings. Who knows what's going to happen? But every time this kid take the mound, I know Rick Renteria and Dan Cooper will think about how many pitches he's going to throw. And they become pitch by pitch every inning, hopefully get through the 5th or the 6th inning.
So that is the latest, of course, on Rodon. That is a story we'll obviously continue to track. And about those White Sox, let's take a look at their starting lineup as they continue their series against the Twins. This is who is facing Jake Odorizzi, Yohan Moncada, Elmer Sanchez, Jose Abreu, Matt Davidson, Kevin Smith catching. Anderson, Engel, Tilson, Thompson, and Hector Santiago is your starting pitcher for tonight. We have more coming up on Baseball Night in Chicago. Authentic Fan Night. Stay with us.
Does your business internet provider promise a lot? Let's see who delivers more. Comcast Business gives you gig speed in more places. The others don't. We offer up to 6 hours of 4G wireless network backup. Everyone else? No way. We let calls from any of your devices come from your business number. Them, not so much. We let you keep an eye on your business from anywhere. The others? Nope. Get 75 megabit internet for $49.95 per month when you get 2 voice mobility lines. Call or go online today.
Hey, Pops. I got you your usual. You need to run off?
No. I got plenty of time.
Here's to making your morning routine a little better.
Now with McDonald's 2 for $4 breakfast sandwiches, you can choose between bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddles, egg McMuffin, sausage biscuit with egg, and sausage McMuffin with egg.
Hey, Chicago, we know you know sports, so let's hear what you've got to say.
John Apodaca says all wins count. Kirk, he just says, what up? Kirk, what up?
Houston, Timmy.
We love you, buddy.
Hey,
Thank
set
you.
that guy deal you are.
I know. Some people are like, forget it all, or you need to rebuild this team, and then other people are like, why are you trying to break up what's been so good for so long? William, you won the White Sox jersey.
Sweet Willie.
Join us on Facebook Live, weeknights at 5 for The Rush.
Chicago's different, man. In this town, we take care of our own. And if you're with us, we're with you through thick or thin. That's what Chicago is.
So there's that.
The only person in the world that calls me Chad.
Are you kidding me?
Authentic coverage for the authentic fan. NBC Sports Chicago.
My teacher said to write a letter to someone that inspires me. You're the only person I wanted to write to. I wear your team shirt all the time. You inspire me because you fought so hard. Even when it looks like you couldn't win. You believe in yourself, so your team believes in you. And that makes me believe I can take on anything.
You never know what's going to happen on Authentic Fan Night, and maybe there's no better example of that than Joe Namath being at Wrigley Field making the rounds today. Broadway Joe. I mean, Ozzy's got swag, Doug's got swag, but nobody has more swag than that guy.
You know what? I want to throw first pitch ceremony here at Wrigley Field. I don't know why.
You also want to sing,
That
too.
would be really...
I don't know. That would be really interesting. Why not? I'm a Chicago man. I'm not just South Sider. I'm a Chicago man.
You might have lost some White Sox fans there.
This is a bad show for the White Sox fans today. All right, so Jake Arrieta, of course, making his return to Chicago now that he's with the Philadelphia Phillies, and our Kelly Kroll interviewed him earlier today. Take a look.
As the fans filed in, the closer it got to game time, when you saw the video tribute, that's when you'd really feel the emotions. What was that experience like for you last night?
I just get goosebumps thinking about it, you know. Just the appreciation and the passion that went in on my side and all these guys in the Cubs uniform. What we try to bring to the table for the fans each and every night, tried to put on a show. And we worked tremendously hard to give them something that they could be proud of. And I think we did a really good job of that, you know. Having that bad taste in our mouth after 2015, getting swept in the NLCS by the Mets, and then trying to come back stronger and more well-studied and more well prepared for the next challenge ahead. And we had tremendous coaching, tremendous support system, and a group of guys that really cared about each other. So to see the admiration and the appreciation for that, and not only for what I was able to do, but as a team, it's really special, and it's something that I'll never be able to replace.
I know you're pretty disappointed you don't get to take the mound this series, but certainly just being back was worth it. I mean, just getting to be a part of this.
No question about it. A lot of special memories in this ballpark, and it's gonna be that way forever.
Awesome. Well, Jake, I know I speak for all of the fans. You've already given your thank you to all of them for what they meant, but thank you for everything that we got to share through interviews and celebrations with champagne and all that. Yep. So it's been a pleasure. Thanks, you.
Kelly. Thank you.
Good stuff with Kelly and Jake Arrieta. Peter Gammon's also in town for Theo Epstein's upcoming Foundation to be named later Hot Stove Cool Music concert. That is on Friday. And he talked about the White Sox rebuild and his thoughts on what they're doing so far.
Eventually, Michael Kopech comes up, and somebody Rodon will get healthy. I mean, I think the base is good there. I think the White Sox have done, to me, the White Sox and Padres have done the best job of building a base and not saying to people, oh, don't worry, we're really close to being good. And I admire that. I respect it. And I think it's wise to not for them to draw, oh, well, this is what the Cubs did. This is what we're doing. Just be the White Sox.
That was Peter Gammons. He is playing guitar alongside Bernie Williams and many more. That is at the Metro on Friday night. You can find tickets at the Foundation to be named later website. You can also buy them through the Metro. A couple of quick thoughts. We only have a couple minutes left in the show. Cubs trying to take one back from the Phillies. They've got a lot going on right now. Quintana's on the mound against Aaron Nola. And then we've got the White Sox trying to build off what they did in the doubleheader. Of course, that something for Hector Santiago, the long guy out of the bullpen right now as they try to improve. But that Nola and Quintana matchup is very interesting from our standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Nola is going to be a real test for the Cubs. This guy is on fire in Philadelphia. I saw him pitch at LSU as a freshman. Great command, and now he's learned how to use those secondary pitches where he's lights out. He has change-up, two-seam fastball. He starts at the hip with a lefty, and he has a put-away curveball. So, I mean, he is going deep into games and really looking like a Cy Young candidate right now.
Well, after 15 games, this kid's 7-2, 2.515 ERA. When you have that type of year in any team, in any level, that means you're doing a great job.
Yeah, and his home ballpark is not easy to pitch at, that is for sure. We talked about the White Sox improving just from their young arms. Santiago's given up a solo home run here and there, but for them, Kevin Smith now catching, of course, and for Wellington Castillo, the White Sox just trying to improve and get better as they take on the Twins.
Well, I think this ball club is just take it little by little, make sure they stay focused on what they want to do, and hopefully they can win the game today.
Santiago has proved to be a jack of all trades, a real guy out of the bullpen trying to help out that team, and hopefully we see Carlos Rodon coming up soon. Guys, this will do it for us for Authentic Fan. What do you think of the crowd tonight? It's been pretty good, hasn't it?
That's a lot of kids around. That's awesome.
I know.
I like
kids
that.
are
I like that.
Very nice. Very nice.
I don't think it's a school night.
Baseball.
Yeah. It's fun to watch.
Is school out by now? It's got to be out, right? Is school out? Are you guys done with school?
Yeah.
They're done with school.
Yeah, I was done with school when I was 7.
Ozzie Guillen, ladies and gentlemen. School is important. Go to school.
Yes, please.
Well, that's fun stuff for sure. And then we have a little bit of time, 15 seconds. So we're going to say goodbye. It's Authentic Fan Night. Don't forget, if you take pictures, use the hashtag Authentic Fan. Cubs on Floods, Sox on Maine. Ozzie, Doug, Layla, we out.
Do your thing. Flee that nest. Seize that moment. Find your inspiration. Be extraordinary. Spread your wings. Mazda. Feel alive.
Will that be all, ma'am?
Yeah, that's it.
One scratch on a Willy Wonka golden ticket from the Illinois Lottery could be worth $500,000, plus a second chance at up to $1 billion. Play today.
If tires could talk. What would yours say?
I'm attorney Howard Aiken, here with White Sox legend Ozzie Guillen.
To win, you must have a lifelong passion. And that's why, if you need a lawyer, you need my man, Howard Aiken.
If you know someone who needs help with an injury case, call me, 312-6-million.
Here's how Old Dominion puts together a winning performance. It takes precision, like how we're #1 in claims prevention. It takes hustle, like our over 99% on-time rate. And it takes consistently going the distance to earn our fans' loyalty. That's why we're #1 in customer satisfaction. Old Dominion, official freight carrier of Major League Baseball.
100% fresh beef, cooked right when you order. It's the hotter, juicier Quarter Pounder with cheese. Now only $5.99 in an extra value meal.
It is a beautiful night at the ballpark, an authentic fan night here on NBC Sports Chicago as the Cubs host the Philadelphia Phillies. It is game 2 of a 3-game set. The visitors a 6-1 winner in the opener last night. Great to have you with us as always, Jim DeShays and Len Casper. Good news for the Cubs. The Brewers already lost today in Cleveland, so a game and a half out, and they turn the ball over to Jose Quintana.
Yeah, and Quintana coming off a very good start last time out in New York against the Mets. It's been an up and down year for him. He has struggled here in his home ballpark, has an ERA above 6 here at home. But Thursday in New York, 6 shutout innings from Quintana, really attacked the strike zone through first pitch strikes about 90% of the time. He better be good tonight. He's up against Aaron Nola, who has turned into one of the elite pitchers in all of baseball. He has the 3rd best ERA in the National League.
Still no Addison Russell in the lineup. He is listed as day-to-day as Jose Quintana goes for his 7th win here in 2018. Game 2 of the series. The Cubs hosting the Phillies next.
This is my Toyota RAV4. It's more tech-savvy than I am. It comes standard with Toyota Safety Sense. Similar features would cost over $6,000 more in a Nissan Rogue. I don't know tech, but I know a good deal. And for that, I give my RAV4 5 stars.
Tested, trusted Toyota. Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan, plus roadside assistance. Hurry in today. Find yours at buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Chicago's different, man. In this town, we take care of our own. And if you're with us, we're with you through thick or thin. That's what Chicago is.
So there's that.
The only person in the world that calls me Chad.
Are you kidding me?
Authentic coverage for the authentic fan. NBC Sports Chicago.
It took guts to start my business, but as it grew bigger and bigger, it took a whole lot more. And that's why I switched to the Spark Cash Card from Capital One. With it, I earn unlimited 2% cash back on everything I buy. Everything. And that 2% cash back adds up to thousands of dollars each year. So I can keep growing my business in big leaps. What's in your wallet?
The new Honda Accord
is the 2018 North American Car of the Year. That means Accord is the best car in America. It's also Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com overall best buy, making it the best deal in America. And right now, lease the award-winning Honda Accord starting at just $249 a month or 1.9% APR financing for well-qualified buyers. So for big deals on the American-built Honda Accord, see your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Honda dealer today.
Cubs baseball on NBC Sports Chicago is brought to you in part by Lexus, who encourages you to experience amazing. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, Through It All. Ford, who invites you to go further in their fuel-efficient vehicles. Check out our entire lineup at your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Menards, save big money at Menards. And by Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency.
It is Cubs Authentic Fan Night here on NBC Sports Chicago. Share your photos with us all game long using the hashtag Authentic Fan, and it may be shown later on in tonight's broadcast. Beautiful night. Phillies and Cubs game 2. And left-hander Jose Quintana looking for his 7th win. And here's how the Phillies stack up offensively, brought to you by Southwest. Pretty much the same lineup we saw last night. All 9 starters last night had a hit as they scored 6 runs. Hernandez, Herrera, and Kingery at the top. Santana, Altair, and Williams in the middle. Nick Williams with a game-winning home run in the opener. Franco, Alfaro, and Nola will round it out.
Cubs defensively, Schwarber left, Morrow center, Heyward right, Brian Baez, Obers Rizzo third to first, Wilson Contreras behind the plate. And our Lexus Experience amazing starting pitcher for the Cubs tonight is Jose Quintana. The 29-year-old left-hander is making his 12th start. 6-4 with a 4.30 earned run average. Fastball, curve, and change. To put 2 really good ones together, it's been typically a good one followed by a bad one for Jose so far this year as he continues to search for consistency.
Vic Carpazza will work the plate tonight. Nick Marley is at first base. Jerry Lane, the crew chief, at second, and Jordan Baker is over at third. Matinee tomorrow, and then the Pirates come in on Friday for the weekend.
Jose faced 22 Mets in his last start, threw strike 1 to 18 of them. So worked from in front, had a good curveball. Fastball command was outstanding. Everything was good. He went 6 shutout innings, allowed 3 hits, a couple of walks, struck out 6. Made a start against the Phillies last year and didn't go particularly well. Suffered a loss, allowed 6 runs in 5 innings.
Away we go. Cesar Hernandez takes a little low for ball 1. Hernandez, a switch hitter. Shows bunt, and the pitch is inside on a fastball at 93. 68 degrees, an east breeze at 5 miles an hour. It was 55 at game time.
Yeah, we'll have no more
Last
of
night.
that, please. That was kind of ugly. Beautiful night tonight. Quintana finds the zone after 2-0. Hernandez is a disciplined hitter. He takes a lot of walks. Rarely goes out of the zone.
As a group, the Phillies are pretty patient. And it's 3-1. Talking with Jim Hickey before the game, the Cubs pitching coach talked about being aggressive. So Jose is at his best. And he's pumping that strike zone. Bryant still in at third on a 3-1 swing and a miss.
Likes to work inside to right-handed hitters with the fastball. That's the one he commands better, the glove side as opposed to the arm side fastball.
Lefty turns and fires, and that's a leadoff walk to Hernandez.
Yeah, that's the old, you've thrown him a lot of fastballs, so you want to get a little something extra on it, and you've come out of your mechanics a little bit, overthrow and misfire.
That'll bring up Odubel Herrera. 1 for 4 plus a walk, scored a run last night.
Hernandez is a threat to run. He's their best base stealer. He's stolen 10. He's tried 12 times.
He'll get out of play for strike 1.
Phillies don't run a lot, but Hernandez certainly a threat. As a team, the Phils batting just .233 against left-handed pitching. So Herrera doing a pretty good job.
Leadoff man has reached. And the 0-1 to Herrera misses wide. And a curveball, 1-1. The home road split's pretty drastic for Jose. I don't think they necessarily mean anything.
No, I would think they would start to level out over time.
226 on the road, 666 at home.
Devilish. He's got a good pickoff move. And Hernandez, the reputation since he's been in the big leagues is that he is prone to make mistakes on the bases.
Jose working very deliberately here in the first inning. Awkward swing by Herrera.
What was that? That was an afterthought swing. Big old leg kick.
Oh, weird note. Now that it's 1-2, opposing hitters have swung at just over 48% of his 2-strike offerings this season. Among all qualified starting pitchers, that's the lowest. And I think that gets back to Jim Hickey's point about maintaining his aggressiveness and not doing 1-2 to 3-2 or 0-2 to 3-2. Continue to be on the attack even when you get ahead in the count. Check swing foul into the Cubs dugout.
Yeah, well, the last 2 swings from Herrera looks like he's not seeing it really well. You never know, but a real awkward pass and a little half swing at that elevated fastball.
Not a big lead by Hernandez. And a 1-2 is hit into right for the first base hit of the ball game. So the Phillies have the first 2 men on.
So maybe that's why the ugly swings at the fastball. Maybe Herrera was just sitting on a curveball and finally got one and put a real good swing on this one. 3rd time's the charm. Couple ugly swings, and this time foot down, hands back. Curveball stays in the zone, and he rifles it into right field. Early trouble here for Quintana.
That brings up the rookie Scott Kingery playing shortstop. J.P. Crawford was activated off the DL today. He is a left-handed hitter. So he's on the bench tonight. Coming back from an elbow issue and a swing and a miss.
Kingery off to a slow start offensively, but he's got a lot of talent. He hit 26 home runs last year in the minor leagues, split between AA and AAA.
He had a busy but uneventful night on defense at short, and that's a compliment. Looked real smooth out there defensively in game 1 takes a strike on a curve. It's 0-2.
It's just obviously an interesting time in this ball game right out of the chute with a couple of men on base up against Aaron Nola, who's been lights out this year. You could lose this ball game in the first inning.
One and two.
A little attention getter up and in. Now he has options. Sinker down and away. He could double up inside with a fastball.
First two men have reached on a walk and a single. Quintana 1-2 on Kingery.
Kingery doesn't walk much. He's a young player. He's got a man in scoring position. He's probably looking to swing the bat here, and maybe Quintana can exploit that and to chase something.
Here it comes, and he fouled it. Big crowd once again tonight. We had over 40,000 at Wrigley Field last night. Zobrist trying to keep Hernandez honest at second. Line to Bryant, and nowhere to throw it as the runners are back safely. Kingery just angrily flips his bat. So that was a loud first out, but a big one for Quintana.
Yeah, solid contact now. Two strike breaking balls. The base hit by Herrera. Now this line drive by Kingery.
Well, actually, I guess he didn't throw the bat. It was how he dropped it.
He discarded it. The Phillies had a pretty good game plan last night against Kyle Hendricks. Nick Williams in particular, who hit the two-run homer to get the scoring started. Looks like they may be keying in on this breaking pitch from Jose here tonight.
Carlos Santana walked twice, doubled. Picked up an RBI, scored a run. His last 28 games, he's got a .993 OPS. These guys have matched up quite a bit. Used to be in the same division over in the American League Central. Santana with 47 career plate appearances against Quintana has hit just 186 with one home run. We like getting that call. 1-2. So he's been 1-2 on the last three hitters. Herrera singled. Kingery lined out to third.
Santana hangs in there. He's got a real keen eye.
On the ground, charged by Baez. The flip to Zobrist. Not in time to first. That would have been a great turn on a ball that was not hit very hard. The Cubs will make sure the call is correct.
Yeah, certainly worth a chat with the boys in the video room, as that long underhand toss to Zobrist from Baez may have been the difference in that bang-bang play at first.
No challenge coming. So first and third. And the batter is Aaron Altair. He knocked in a pair last night. Takes the curve low.
Despite that, not a lot of damage from Altair this year. He's been mired, is what he has been. He's been mired in a season-long slump with that 184 batting average.
22nd pitch of the inning coming up.
Those last 2 breaking balls, those are the ones you want to throw with 2 strikes, as opposed to the one that stayed in the zone. He's a $190 against Southpaws. Spin to win.
Yeah, threw him another one.
He hit .272 last year. 19 home runs, had an OPS of 856. A bit of a breakout year.
Alfaro has an 11-game strikeout streak. And the count now full. So deep counts here in the first inning for Quintana. He's trying to get out of it with no damage. Runner at first, Santana will go here. 3-2, 2 outs. Rizzo playing well off the line. Called strike 3 and a fastball. He had to work for it. The Phillies strand a couple. Cubs coming up against right-hander Aaron Nola when we come back.
It's not just any internet. It's the fastest internet that can now include mobile. You can get up to 5 mobile lines, and now you're Dad of the Year internet. Nice job. It's internet from Xfinity that makes your life simple, easy, awesome.
See how most customers can save $400 or more a year with Xfinity Mobile. Get started with Xfinity Internet for just $19.99 a month for 12 months, and you can get up to 5 lines included. Click, call, or visit a store today.
At King's Hawaiian Foods, we believe that when great food and laughs are shared with others, life's just more fun. And who better to share it with than those closest to us, our neighbors. So, pull the grill out front, America. Be sure to have plenty of King's Hawaiian buns and barbecue sauce on hand. And let's make this the summer of the block party. King's Hawaiian Foods. Next time you're grilling, try our delicious King's Hawaiian barbecue sauces, crafted with the irresistible flavors of the islands.
This could work.
We're taking you home now, sir.
Are you a search and rescue?
No, I'm with the resort.
What?
Cubs Southwest starting lineup. How about last night? Zach Eflin was the first opposing starter to go more than 7 innings against the Cubs this season. They're going to try to do some damage early against Aaron Nola tonight. Zobrist, Heyward, Bryant, followed by Rizzo, Contreras, and Schwarber. Baez at short again with Russell still day-to-day. Almora in center. Quintana, the pitcher, hitting ninth.
Hey, they fighting Phils defensively. They look like this. Herrera looked a little shaky out in center field last night. He's back out there again tonight. Williams and Alfaro flank him. Franco, Kingery, Hernandez, Santana on the infield. Alfaro solid behind the plate and shutting down the running game. And Aaron Nola is the Lexus Experience amazing starting pitcher for the Phillies. And this guy is across the board having an outstanding year. 12 starts, 7-2 with a 2.18. He's got 3+ pitches, good movement, fastball that can reach 96, good curve and change, outstanding command.
The leadoff man is presented by Benny's Beverage Depot. If Ben Zobrist gets a hit here, Benny's donates $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. Yeah, I said recently in previewing this series, Aaron Nola might be, and we can define it however we wish, the most underrated starter in the league.
Likely will be an all-star. He's allowed 2 or fewer runs in 10 of his 12 starts. League batting .201 against him. He's allowed just 4 home runs.
On strike 3 to get Zobrist.
He'll throw both 4 and 2-seam fastballs, but he really mixes things up. He uses his secondary pitches a lot, and they're both really good. Gets a lot of chases on the curveball and the changeup. Former first-round pick out of LSU. That was back in 2014. And here's a good tight breaking ball that locks up Zoe.
He turned 25 on Monday. He was the Phillies opening day starter, and now faces Jason Heyward. He's batting second in the Cubs lineup for the 6th consecutive game. And off a terrific road trip, went 1 for 4 in the opener. Couple of bounces. Nice backhanded play by Santana, and a perfect feed to Nola.
Yeah, tricky hop, nice play by the big fellow. And that's the other thing Nola does. He gets a lot of balls on the ground too. That contributes to that low home run rate.
Chris Bryant was drafted 5 years ago today by the Chicago Cubs. Interesting CBSSports.com piece. Mike Exissa about the 2013 draft and which picks worked out and which ones didn't.
I'm assuming he liked the Chris Bryant pick.
Yeah, he's got him as number 1 on the list. Swing and a miss.
Nasty curveball there. Well, the Cubs have had a lot of luck at the first round of the draft in recent years. A lot of familiar names there from 11 through 15. Little and Lang last year, and congratulations to Nico Horner, the Cubs' first pick this year.
And the top 5 on that list are all currently with the team. Nola races through the first inning. We are scoreless after 1.
Southwest is about to make your fall with millions of sale fares starting as low as $49, which means right now is the perfect time to book that much-needed getaway. Visit your friends or cheer on your team. It's up to you, because these low fares go to all the places you love. But while these $49 one-way sale fares will make your trip, they'll be gone before you know it. So book now for great savings. Then start saving up those vacation days. Book now at southwest.com. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency.
Get big savings during Menards' Big Sale. Combine storage and style with Closet Culture Systems. They combine steel, wire mesh, and wood to create elegant storage solutions. This 8-foot system is $399. Give your home a style lift with new doorknobs from Schlage. Get your choice of the Georgian or Bowery Passage or Privacy knob for just $17.99. Plus, Menards gift cards are perfect for Father's Day.
Save big money at Menards.
Bye, Miss Roberts.
Bye, sweetie. How do you become America's best-selling brand?
Bye, Miss Roberts.
Bye, sweetie. You make it for taking people to school. Bye, sweetie. That's Ford, America's best-selling brand. Now get $2,000 bonus cash on a new Ford Mustang or lease one for just $299 a month. Visit your local Ford store today.
Hits one deep to right. Gone! In the air to left. Gone!
Cubs, Phillies. Coverage begins at 12:30 with Cubs pregame live on NBC Sports Chicago.
We'd like to welcome all the NBC Sports Chicago Plus viewers streaming the Cubs game tonight on PlayStation View.
And we want to wish our good friend Bob Rohrman a speedy recovery, so we see him back soon here at Wrigley Field. Get well, Bob.
Quintana to Williams. And a first pitch strike. Nick Williams worked a pretty impressive at bat against Kyle Hendricks in the second inning last night. He ended up cranking a go-ahead and ultimately game-winning 2-run homer, and he's having an issue with some debris in his eye.
Could be a deke. Don't fall for it, Q. Yeah, he laid off some change-ups and got himself into a fastball count on 3-1, and then hit one into the seats.
He hits this ball on the ground to the shortstop. Baez, off-balance throw right on the mark for the out.
Well, good start for Quintana here in the second after working hard to get through that first inning. He'd like to have a nice, quick, efficient, economical second.
Mikel Franco, the third baseman. First pitch hit hard on the ground. It's Baez again, this time in the outfield grass.
Not exactly working the count here in the second.
And the catcher, Alfaro.
Alfaro's got some power. He's a guy you can get out of the zone. He chases a lot of pitches off the plate.
They say the wind is always a factor here at Wrigley Field, and when it does not blow, it's noticeable. And right now, it's as calm as you'll ever see it here at Wrigley.
Stuff looks good tonight for Q. The fastball's got some zip. The bite on the breaking ball looks good.
Its way, and it pegs the inside corner. It's 1-2. Tyler Chatwood starts tomorrow.
Elevated heater or breaking ball down. Chatwood and Nick Pivetta, the most likelies for tomorrow's afternoon ball game.
Yeah, to get that joke, you had to be watching last night.
Like
we throw in a couple of those again.
We want to reward our loyal every-nighters.
Alfaro needs a second. The 29-year-old lefty coming back on a 2-2. Called strike 3 on the inside. That's the second inning he needed, and has now retired 6 in a row. Nothing early.
Ending hunger is a team sport. My friends at Binny's Beverage Depot donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository every time the Cubs leadoff man gets a hit. Here's a toast to ending hunger in Chicago. Binny's Beverage Depot, family-owned since 1948.
Iran's been reneging on its nuclear deal. We sent in a team to neutralize that threat. The operation went like clockwork until the last few days. We need you to go in and clean up the mess.
We need to wake the girls. Get them up now.
You're going to tell me what the hell is going on?
I have to go away.
Why, you Max?
Because I don't have a choice.
Deep State. Only on Epix.
Free installation?
That's right. Free installation on all windows, siding, and doors.
Now that's hot.
It's Feldco's hottest sale of the year. Free installation.
Free installation ends soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
For the latest innovations in water-resistant flooring, come to Floor & Decor.
There were so many options.
Floor & Decor is home to trend-setting technology in water-resistant flooring. From stylish Nucor to versatile Duralux to the amazing AquaGuard in laminate wood or bamboo. We have your water-resistant flooring needs covered.
There's really not a better product that you can put down in your basement. I've had nothing but compliments and raves over it. You can use it in the kitchen, you can use it in the living room, you can use it in the bathroom. I love AquaGuard.
Floor & Decor. You have to see it to believe it.
Join T-Mobile in showing appreciation for all military by sharing a photo or video with hashtag Hats Off for Heroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Hey, Cubs fans, nobody tops your passion. Nothing beats the experience of Cubs baseball. Inside beautiful Wrigley Field, be a part of it all season long. Everybody in. Tickets are still available for tomorrow and Friday afternoon's games. Get your tickets now at Cubs.com. Cubs bat in inning number 2. Rizzo, Contreras, and Schwarber to face Aaron Nola. Making his second career start here at Wrigley Field. First in almost 3 calendar years.
Anthony over his last 12 games batting .390, .519 on base. Walks way up, strikeouts way down.
Changeup hit on the ground, foul. So that start, July 26, 2015, he went 7 2/3 to get his first career win. It was his second career start. And what I remember about that series was the Cole Hamels no-hitter, but the fact that the Cubs got swept, right? And it was after that weekend, Cub fans were really nervous. And then they were like the best team in the National League the rest of the season. That's kind of when their low point in the middle of the year, and it ended up not really meaning anything. Ended up grabbing one of the wild card spots. The rest is history, and that ball might be history. Deep to right, off the board. 1-0 in the second.
Say hi, big fella. That was an impressive swing of the bat. Nola elevates the fastball, and that is the first home run he's allowed to a left-handed batter this year. It's number 9 for Big Riz. And they're trying to crowd him, and when he's locked in, he's quick. He can get to that high fastball. And no doubt Nola and Alfaro stunned at the result of that pitch, because that's a pitch I'm sure he gets a lot of weak contact with. This was hardly weak, and it's our forward home run replay. And it's a 1-0 Cub lead.
Deep to left. And Williams can't make the grab. Contreras will have a double. And Williams might be injured. He went really hard into the wall. And looks like he's okay. Might be scraped up a bit.
It's a sloppy breaking ball this time, whereas the Rizzo home run pitch can be an effective pitch. The hanging curveball almost never works. Contreras puts a charge in it. Williams can't make the play, and then into the ivy he goes.
Kyle Schwarber batting 6th. 1 for 2 last night. Double, sack, bunt, and a walk. And foul. He's put together a terrific first half.
But the shift on for him, 3 on the right side. Looked like he was trying to shoot that the other way. Hernandez, the second baseman, out in shallow right. One ball to the right side, but at least advance Contreras to third, but he's looking for more. He wants to drive this run home.
Missed off the outside corner. Nola was taken 3 picks after Schwarber in the 2014 draft. Speaking of Nola, we want to send out best wishes to one of the biggest Cub fans out there who watches us every night, Nola Daughtry.
Having a nice night, Nola.
I love this Aaron Nola. I think of New Orleans. He is from Louisiana, but he's from Baton Rouge, not Nola.
Baton Rouge, don't you know?
Here's 1-2. Way high.
He's given up 2 hits tonight. He allowed just 2 hits in 7 innings last time. And the start before that, he allowed only 1 hit in 6 2/3.
Called strike 3.
The ongoing saga of the Kyle Schwarber rung up on the borderline pitch. It's a byproduct of the fact that he's very patient, has a good eye. He's looking for something he can do some damage on. Doesn't go out of the zone very much, but he does get rung up on a lot of borderline pitches.
That brings up Javi Baez.
A couple years ago, it was Dexter Fowler. Seemingly was the guy. Which is just on or just off the edge, seemed to always go against him.
Baez hits a ground ball fair. Fair first. Safe. Contreras advances. So Franco's throw was low and Santana couldn't handle it. And he'll be charged with an error.
Yeah, the ball was hit sharply. He had plenty of time, just made a bad throw, and Santana couldn't bail him out. The Phillies do not rate well the advanced defensive metrics. They made a lot of errors to begin with, but in terms of defensive efficiency and defensive runs saved, they're at or near the bottom of the league.
Let's see if the Cubs can take advantage here, and this is a big at bat for Morrow with the pitcher Quintana on deck. Baez will be held by Santana at first. That deflects off Nola. They'll get one, and they'll get them both.
I don't know if he got back there.
Was his foot on the bag? Nick Marley says it was. If so, the inning is over.
Will Venable immediately pointing to the dugout. Almora just taking his guard off and returning to the bag. He thinks he's safe, so I think he's safe here. And boy, that's hard to tell, but I don't think Santana got back there. I think he came off. This is, for my money, definitely worth challenging.
No, they will not. So his foot was on the bag. Yep, he got it right. It was on the bag the first time, not the second. And that would have meant a run had he been off the base. Rizzo's homer makes it 1-0 Cubs after 2.
It took guts to start my business, but as it grew bigger and bigger, it took a whole lot more. And that's why I switched to the Spark Cash Card from Capital One. With it, I earn unlimited 2% cash back on everything I buy. Everything. What's in your wallet?
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs. I'm attorney Howard Aiken with Cubs superstar Javi Baez.
Making it look easy on the field takes a hard work. If you need legal help, call Howard.
It's hard to make law as exciting as Javi makes playing second base, but if you need help with an injury case,
Call me. 312-6
My name is Brent Williams, and I am a proud union laborer. I'm one of the guys that works construction out there on the highway as you drive by. Last summer, in the middle of our busy season, because of Bruce Rauner not passing a budget, I was told my job was being shut down. We just bought a house. I need to be working. When I'm not working, I'm not making money, and roads and bridges aren't being fixed. Along with me, there was 20,000 other workers that were laid off. I don't know that Bruce Rauner does think of me. Why would we do it for 4 more years?
This is my Toyota RAV4. It's more tech-savvy than I am. It comes standard with Toyota Safety Sense. Similar features would cost over $6,000 more in a Nissan Rogue.
I don't know tech, but I know a good deal. And for that, I give my RAV4 5 stars.
Tested, trusted Toyota. Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan, plus roadside assistance. Hurry in today. Find yours at buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. The Cubs are celebrating Bud Fridays in the Budweiser bleachers all season long. This Friday, June 8th, is my sister's birthday. Also, the Cubs play the Pirates that day at 1:20, and up to the first 5,000 early arriving adults 21 and older in the Budweiser bleachers receive a Cubs neon tank top presented by Budweiser. Get there early. For details, visit Cubs.com/Fridays. And now I know what I'm getting my sister for her birthday. You never have too many neon tanks.
Nola will lead it off. I'm not exactly sure where that liner hit him off the bat of Almora. It turned into a double play to end the frame.
I thought he got gloved.
He's fortunate if that's the case.
His hand a little bit. Yeah, so a 1-6-4-3 double play. He really gave up a lot of hard contact in that inning. Very lucky he got out of that, allowing just a 1.
One more look. You're right. You can't hurt leather.
Yeah.
Well, 1 out of 22 on the year. Waits on a 1-2 pitch, and he fouls it out of play.
This whole pitching business, it's all about keeping the ball off the barrel of the bat. Quintana pretty good when he's on his game and running it in onto the handle of these right-handed hitters.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Xfinity X1 customers say, show me the Chicago Cubs into your X1 voice remote and get live team stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. Jake Arrieta will not pitch in the series. There's tribute to him on the left field video board in the game last night. A stream of staff and front office people from the Cubs today went over to say hi to Jake during batting practice. They said hi to most of the players yesterday. Just missed inside. 1-2 on Hernandez.
A good execution though, away, and then shoots for that inside corner. And we'll change piece.
Hernandez lays off. 2-2. Back to the changeup.
I mentioned this first time he was up there. He a real good idea in the batter's box. He doesn't go out of the zone much at all.
Strike 3. 3 consecutive strikeouts now for Quintana, 4 on the night.
And 3 of the 4 looking, and after a couple of change-ups, he goes to the fastball, and it's kind of like a little backdoor cutting fastball right over the outside corner. And this time, he tried to overthrow that pitch and ended up walking him.
Whipped into right. Herrera's 2 for 2. His 3rd hit of the series.
First
We'll
time
bring up Kingery.
He got a 2-strike curveball this time. Jumps on that first heater.
Yeah, you've talked about this in the past. You a little surprised more guys don't play the guessing game?
Yeah, I think a lot of guys. I mean, they say they don't guess. They play hunches. They sit the kind of percentage like I'm 70-30 fastball here.
Right.
And it's like, especially against some of the better arms in the game, the guys that can really light it up, you have to guess. You have to kind of sell out, look for a certain pitch in certain situations. But the 0-0 breaking pitch is the one that I think, and I'm a little bit surprised that guys don't look for that more often.
Kingery tried to bunt, and he bunted it foul. Jose Flores chatting with Anthony Rizzo over at first.
The game has changed, over the years, and different clubs have different philosophies back in the day, and I think it still holds true for most managers and hitting coaches. The 3-hole hitter, and again, Kingery's a young kid with not a lot of experience. But 2 outs and a man on first, you'd prefer him trying to drive the ball, and he does have power. So instead of bunting for a hit, especially he's got the platoon advantage with a lefty on the mound, I would want him swinging. Always with the caveat, though, you don't know exactly what a player's feeling on any given night. Sometimes you question a guy's motives. Well, why is he bunting in that situation? Only to find out later on, man, I just wasn't seeing the ball well off of him. I'm just trying to do something to keep the line moving. As a general rule, 3-hole hitter, 2 outs man on first, you want him swinging.
Kingery strikes out. All the outs were punch outs. Former Cub, former Philly, Doug Glanville is with us tonight. We'll chat with him when we come back.
Now is a great time to own the Honda CR-V, MotorTrend's 2018 SUV of the year. It's an SUV with smooth handling and excellent power delivery, and plenty of space for you and your passengers. So find out for yourself why the Honda CR-V is ready for adventure. Hurry into your Honda dealer and test drive the 2018 MotorTrend SUV of the year. Visit your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Honda dealer and test drive a Honda today.
At King's Hawaiian Foods, we believe that when great food and laughs are shared with others, life's just more fun. And who better to share it with than those closest to us, our neighbors. So, pull the grill out front, America. Be sure to have plenty of King's Hawaiian buns and barbecue sauce on hand. And let's make this the summer of the block party. King's Hawaiian Foods. Next time you're grilling, try our delicious King's Hawaiian barbecue sauces, crafted with the irresistible flavors of the islands.
Here's my scouting report on Binny's Beverage Depot. Love their lightning speed and amazing selection. I can order my favorite wine, spirits, and beer and have it delivered to my door in as little as an hour. Binny's Beverage Depot, hustling for you.
2 bulls were fighting. Bam, hit the truck.
I could feel the barbed wire was just digging into the paint.
Another ding, another scratch. It'll just be another chapter in the story.
Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickups on the road. Get 18% of MSRP cash back on all Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LTZ pickups when you finance with GM Financial. That's $10,500 on this Silverado. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Cubs lead 1-0 on an Anthony Rizzo home run off Aaron Nola. Doug Glanville is with us tonight. And, Doug, you have some more information on the Phillies right-hander.
Yeah, I mean, I had a chance to see Aaron Nola way back when he was a freshman at LSU. And the reputation preceded him. This is a guy that is calm under pressure, ice water in his veins, so to speak, but also had tremendous command and poise right since his freshman year.
Strike on the pitcher, Jose Quintana.
You know, so when you look at these numbers, this is college, 7 walks in 89 2/3 innings his first year, and the high strikeout total. So he was always a command guy, and then the velocity started to develop a little later. But you can see there the location. Part of his key is that first pitch. It's not sort of a get-me-over pitch. He locates right out of the gate. So even when you see a guy like this who has great command on secondary pitches, you can't just get up there and say, well, attack him early.
Oh, man, right on cue. That was nasty.
Right, so when you look at the sequencing, like Zobrist on that 2-strike pitch, he can work in this backdoor curveball. So he goes in there. Now, where he gets in trouble, like any pitcher, is he elevated and leaped over the plate, and Rizzo made him pay. And then the curveball to Contreras was up in the zone. So like any time a major league pitcher is not locating, these hitters make him pay. But he's been a guy from pitch 1, has been making high competitive pitches. Really, the location has been very sharp from one pitch to the next.
There's a curveball for a strike. Doug, I want to ask you about the Phillies, and if you thought, and if people in Philadelphia thought they were ready to kind of take this next step this soon with a first-year manager.
Yeah, well, I think there's certainly a lot of surprise at the level. I mean, Kapler came in, and by the way, he was not really that popular the first couple of days. Right. Analytics, unorthodox style, sort of. The fans were like, well, what is all this stuff? We want just guys who play hard. He's talking about, FIP and all these other statistical categories.
He strikes out Zobrist.
Yeah, you don't see that very often.
So Kapler had to kind of work his way, but of course the winning started to come. And when you see Nola, this guy, look at the tumble on this changeup. These are just part of his secondary pitches. That's the pitch that's taken advanced in leaps and bounds for Nola. He throws it at any count, and he has the confidence. He saw it, 1-0 counts, doesn't matter. He's going to throw that changeup, and it looks exactly like his fastball with that sort of sidearm delivery. And so that type of developmental curve has been advancing for a lot of these players with the Phillies. You see Herrera. So there's talent here that's now put it together fairly quickly.
Jason Heyward bounces one to third. Franco made an error earlier, makes the play this time. Thanks, Doug. We'll talk to you a little later on in the ball game. It is 1-0 Cubs at the end of 3.
Okay, guys.
Southwest is about to make your fall with millions of sale fares starting as low as $49, which means right now is the perfect time to book that much-needed getaway. Visit your friends or cheer on your team. It's up to you, because these low fares go to all the places you love. But while these $49 one-way sale fares will make your trip, they'll be gone before you know it. So book now for great savings. Then start saving up those vacation days. Book now at southwest.com. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency.
Wherever you are, you're there. The NBC Sports app, your home for live streaming coverage of the Cubs, all connected by Xfinity.
I'm very sorry.
And we're going to get his phone, out of you.
The important thing is that we're going to make you better.
Okay, here's how to make butter. Pour 2/3 cup cold heavy cream.
Snickers satisfies. Want more from your next SUV? Check out the Hyundai Tucson. Awarded the most dependable small SUV by J.D. Power. And a 5-star overall safety rating by industry leaders. Thanks to an assortment of advanced safety features. All backed by America's best warranty. The Hyundai Tucson. A great deal more than just a great deal. Right now, for a limited time, you can lease a Tucson for only $159 a month. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
We got to go down on the field. We went up with Len and JD and just so kind and welcoming.
welcoming. We got to take lots of good pictures. We just got to do a tour of the NBC Sports truck, and everyone there just welcomed us. I couldn't ask for anything more.
Back here at Wrigley Field, Cubs 1, Phillies nothing. Jose Quintana back to work in the 4th inning. And hey, we got a Hall of Famer in our midst. Broadway Joe Namath has stopped by, good friend of Joe Madden's, and thanks for dropping by here. Here, we'll turn up so you can hear me on this. Can you hear me
now I can.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you, man.
Threw out a first pitch tonight, and great to have you here at Wrigley Field. What do you think?
You know what? It was goosebump days for me, man. I promise you. First of all, I was across the street looking at the field from the hotel. I saw that statue out there, Mr. Banks, and so on the way in, had to visit with it. But Joe Madden, you know, you guys know Joe now, and it's just a treat to be able to visit with him anytime.
So how did your relationship start? Because you're his hero, so from his point of view, it's pretty obvious how he would want to get to know you. But how'd you get to know Joe? You guys are Pennsylvania
Well,
guys.
at his invitation, about 5 years or so ago, we got together at a ball game, and we just hit it off. You know, it was very comfortable. I certainly have a lot of respect for Joe and his history in the sport, and he's made me feel comfortable being around him.
So when Len introduced you, he said Broadway Joe, but it could have been Michigan Avenue Joe.
Yeah.
Right? The Cubs made a pretty lucrative offer when you were coming out of high school.
They did. I had a $50,000 offer. And if it wasn't for my mother wanting one of her boys to go to college, you know, I would have played baseball. That was my first love.
Really?
Oh, yeah, man. I love baseball.
So you grew up in Pennsylvania. You're a Pirate fan, I guess?
I was a Pirate fan at that time. I used to go up there. My uncle took me up. My brothers took me up. I saw Stan the Man hit it over the wall. Every time I got in the batter's box, I'd be bobbing my head like Roberto Clemente. Good catch, yes. And catching everything like Roberto out there.
So where did you play?
Every position on the field, as well as catcher. I wasn't as good a pitcher, but we had pitchers on our team. And where do they put the sophomore player on the high school team?
Well,
right
for me,
field.
it was the JV team. But
Right field, and I was in heaven. Roberto Clemente, you know.
Yeah.
And I ended up staying in the outfield. I could run, I could throw, and I could hit, and I loved the game.
2 outs here in the 4th inning. Visiting with Joe Namath.
Well, Plan B worked out pretty good for you, too.
Well, you guys know. you know, sometimes people think it's corny when you talk about the team effort, you know, the people you're around. I had 3 of the greatest coaches on each level, high school, college, Paul Bear Brown at Alabama, wWPA, and teammates, you know. I owned up sometimes, but without the rest of the gang, it's like life itself's a team effort.
1-1 the count on Williams. Make it 1-2.
Well, how'd they get you down to Alabama? I mean, Penn State must have been going nuts for you and all the teams in the Midwest.
Never heard of Penn State, never heard from Penn State. I liked Maryland. Tom Nugent was the coach at Maryland, and he's the one that put the I formation in, and he wanted to throw a lot. I wasn't smart enough to pass the college boards. Whenever I failed the boards the second time to get into Maryland, Coach Nugent called Coach Bryant at Alabama. Well, Coach Bryant had already coached 2 Western Pennsylvania quarterbacks that I didn't know of. One of them was George Blanda.
Okay.
And the other was Vito Babe Pirelli.
Okay.
So Coach Bryant knew about Western PA guys and gave me the chance.
2-2 swing and a miss. Quintana makes quick work of Williams. Joe, I know you got other people to visit. Thanks for just dropping by. Pleasure to meet you.
Oh,
it's an honor to have you here at Wrigley.
Thanks for having me. I promise you this is a topper to a great day for me.
1-0 Cubs. We'll be back.